everybody raring to go ahead of the new league season then?
Yeah, I think that's always the way in pre-season. After a while in pre-season, you sort of starts to feel like it drags on. You just want the start of the season to come. That's the same every single year. So we're kind of at that point now and looking forward to Monday night now.
You're definitely in the experienced campaigner territory now. You still get that same sort of buzz and excitement for a new season. How does this one feel compared to what you've had before?
Yeah, I mean, I think you still definitely have that. I think for me, this is probably actually my first proper pre-season in a good 3 years, I'd say. With where I was at before, this time in the window, in Turkey, I was sort of in and out, leaving, not leaving, so I wasn't part of the team. So it's actually really nice this year to have had a proper pre-season with the lads. And it's strange for me that I didn't have that for the last couple of years. So I've really enjoyed that. That helps a lot. Obviously, it gives you the fitness that you need, and as well just helps sort of refresh the mind from everything that we were touching on last year, how we were trying to play, things that we were good at, things we were not so good at. Gives you more time to work with that. So I think even though I don't know what season this might be, 18th pre-season for me now, you still get that same buzz, and I'm still running around with a few 16, 17-year-olds out there who are excited, so you feed off that sort of energy, and you feel the same age as always.
How much better do you feel for having that pre-season? Maybe quantify it for us, those of us who don't quite understand just what impact that can make going into a new season.
We'll have to see on Monday. we'll see how much of a difference it's made then. But I just think you get all the aches and pains, and you go through the hard work and the load, and you sort of get that out of the way in pre-season. So then the idea is you get to the start of the season and you've built up that tolerance, and you feel good to go, and it prepares you. You sort of work harder than you would once the schedule's sort of up and running. I guess you could almost say we overtrain at times to build up that tolerance so that you can cope with the season and the games and the matches, and obviously we're in different competitions, so you need to be able to deal with those demands. So having a good full pre-season just helps you with that. I think without the pre-season you can never 100% know if you're fully fit or durable enough to last for the whole season. I just think that's really important, and we'll have to see early on how that goes and how I'm feeling. But right now I feel great. The boys all look fit as well. And I think going into the start of the season, the first couple of games, there's always that next jump up in intensity when it's competitive again. So you sort of maybe use the first few as well to get minutes in the legs for different lads and keep building as well. But no, pre-season's massive.
You feel a lot more settled, that you've been here all over the summer now since the start of the year. You're ready to hit the ground running when it starts on Monday. No, I feel like I settled in really quickly here. It's a great group of lads, and they made me feel very welcome last year early on, and I think starting off again this season, that's why I was so excited to be able to get back in and come back, because it didn't feel like at all a change for me. It felt like somewhere I'd been for a while. I was really comfortable, and I loved my time here last year, and little things that people maybe don't think about, not having to think about where you're going to live or what apartment you're going into this year or house or whatever. I sort of had all of that, and was able to stay in the same place and everything. So that helps. You don't have to think too much about that and mess about. You can just concentrate on your football, and even for family, they know where they're at when they're coming up to visit and whatnot. So that stuff helps. So I felt really settled really quickly here. I think you Scottish people are a very friendly bunch in general anyway, and I sort of really like the people, the culture up here, and the way that everyone is friendly and down to earth. So I felt settled straight away, and that's the same thing for me this year. You talked about 16, 17 pre-seasons, many of them at massive clubs, Liverpool and Arsenal. What's it like here, mentality-wise, compared to those clubs, in terms of setting out what you want to do at the start of the season, what trophies you want to bring back?
I think it's the same. It's a winning mentality. That's what the identity of this club is to try and win, and there's an expectation to win. And that's sort of similar to where I've been lucky enough to play in the past as well. I think there's not too much that's dissimilar in that aspect. everyone in the building, everyone part of this team, if you're involved in this club, you know that the main goal is to win and to achieve everything you can in all the competitions you play in. And that's like I said, no different to what I've been used to in the past. So I can sort of relate to that.
The title went to the last few minutes last season. For you, what lessons does this group of players need to learn from last season?
I think maybe to be a bit more consistent throughout the whole of the year. Obviously, that's the key for any team to be successful, is consistency. Because I think I wasn't part of the season at the start of the year, but I'm sure there was times where they played good games or looked good, and then there was times where they maybe didn't pick up results and weren't too good. And I think even towards the end, we had the bit of inconsistency in performance as well. The only difference was we were finding a way to win, which I think this group of players can take a lot from that and from what we did, because we were able to get over the line, and probably, or definitely not with always the best football that we could probably play as a group. And as much as you want to address that and fix that, I think there's a lot to be said for character and what you can learn from each other, and finding a way to win. That's just as important, and that's what got the job done for us in the end last year. And we're going to have to take that into the season this year, because I've talked about consistency. There's no way you can get through a campaign of 50 games and play good every game. That's just not the way it's going to go. So we're going to have to find on days when we're not playing well a way to win, like we did last year. We just hope that there's more days where we do play well than not. So I think there's a lot to learn from the stuff that was maybe not so good last year, and also a lot of positives to take from everything that we did last year. And some of the tough times when things weren't going so well, and how it ended up in the end, we can learn a lot from that, and I think it definitely would have brought us together closer as a group as well.
It's fair to say fans are crying out for more signings for this squad. How do you assess the strength and depth, and how well equipped this squad feels at the moment to handle 4 competitions that are going to come up quite soon?
Yeah, I think the lads that we've got this year are what we've got at the minute, and everyone in that dressing room's a lot of them were a massive part of last season, and that we've got the leaders are still there, Cal, Jamesy, KT, boys like that have been there for years. They're obviously massive for us. The new guys that have come in, Big Casper and Camilo, they look really good, and I think it's them two both being forwards and the characters that they are, and they've seemed like really outgoing, good group, good bunch of lads that can fit into this group, and I think they'll hit the ground running. So I think they'll be really good for us. And then everyone here that's here, we've got a job to do, and that's to play the best we can. We've got a lot of boys in the dressing room still, and I've seen squads that are definitely lighter for sure in numbers. So yeah, look, as players, it's not our job to worry about that. The only thing I can comment on is the guys that are in the dressing room that I'm sharing it with, the guys that we've brought in. It's our responsibility now to go and win every game that we can, and be as good as we can, and leave the rest of the guys that deal with the rest.
As a fellow midfielder, one man that's getting a lot of interest at the moment is Arne Engels. You sort of train with him every day. How good of a player is he, and how big of a miss would he be if he was the next one to leave?
Yeah, I think Arne's a great player. He's young, so he's still got a lot of improving that he can do also as well, which shows his potentials is massive. He's a great engine, and he can run all day. He's got good qualities on the ball as well, and he can score goals. So I think, especially since I came in, when I first came, he just picked up his thigh injury, so we had a spell where we didn't have him for a while, and we had to find a way to win. It probably gave me a bit of a chance to get a kick in midfield. But so we had a spell without him, but having him come back in and his energy, you can see what a good player he is. And yeah, I'm sure his future is very bright.
You obviously mentioned you put at top clubs with his winning mentality instilled there. Is that kind of how you thrive in this sort of atmosphere? You would have seen it both sides last season. There was times when the pressure was really on, and it looked like the club might struggle to go in and win the league, but to do it in the style you did, you experienced the upside of it as well. Is that what you kind of thrive on as a player who's played at that level?
Yeah, definitely. I think yeah, when the opportunity to come here last year sort of came up, the fact that, you know, it was going to be a challenge, I really enjoyed that. The idea of, you know, coming and helping and just trying to do whatever I could to sort of give some experience, or, you know, at times a few moments of quality that could help the lads go on to achieve what we did. In the end, the way it ended up was like dreamland stuff. But yeah, in my head, that's what I sort of thrive off, like you said. And I'm fortunate enough to have, you know, been in teams where there is an expectation to win, but also at the same time, the reality is there's a lot of, you know, really, really good teams that make it really hard to win. So I sort of thrive in that that sort of, you know, pressure cooker and that environment where even though the expectation is to win, you're not always going to win, but that's what you strive for. So I think that's exactly, you know, the same mentality that's here. And yeah, I definitely need that, and especially now, I think that you know, helps me bring the most out of myself still going forward at this point in my career. Having that and having the hunger and, you know, young players pushing and thriving to be the best they can and go and win, you know, as much as they can, that's massive. And then you see guys in the dressing room like Cal that have won lots, and Jamesy that have won lots, that still want to win. That you know, seeing that and being next to that helps you just, you know, keep pushing and keeping that motivation, even at this sort of later stage of my career. So yeah, I think that whole environment is what I need, and I definitely thrive off that.